Suddenly the big screen came alive, triggered by Lanya's jumping into the podium. The moment she reached the centre circle, there was a thunderclap that made Eller flinch. Ay, 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 now he could also hear how angry she was. Trumpets and rumblings, rhythms of war, sirens and wailings, dissonance barely resolved. The tension in the music seemed to vibrate on the verge of explosion. Still, there was composition to it. It had coherence. Indeed, it was beautiful, even if downright scary. What should he do? Was she losing her mind? Should he go in and try to calm her down? He found himself staring again at her image on the screen. Or was it better to let her for a while? Oh, she was so beautiful, it hurt. He knew girls couldn't stand being told how beautiful they were when angry, but he felt a strong temptation to tell her someday anyway, though better not now if he valued his life. He also noticed she hadn't bothered to change to her very beautiful, but also very proper stage clothes. Her daily clothes were definitely a bit more revealing. Nothing bad about it, but ooh. However, he wasn't doing right. He was here because he had felt she needed his help, and here he was just admiring her. Through a camera too, so she couldn't even know she was being watched. With an effort of the will, he turned his back to the screen. Try to think. Now he felt he started noticing something else about the music. It was not just anger, not just a seeking to destroy. It was anger seeking to pour itself out before the one to whom this Musico was dedicated. But did it make sense that he could pick up something that subtle from the music? Still, the feeling was very convincing. She was praying pure feelings in a way only a superb Musico player could. He really didn't belong here. She had a much greater consoler than he could ever be. He started walking to one of the exits. But if he went out to wait for her, he would be beyond the anti-sound field. He would neither see her nor hear the music, and she could leave through any of the doors without him knowing. Brain wouldn't tell him in cases like this. He stopped. What should he do? Sometimes the great consoler did use his human friends. There was a change in the music now. One long, strong tone or chord, which on its own still seemed to hold all the tension that was in the music before. It drew his eyes back to the screen. Lanya stood there, with her arms stretched out as if she were waiting or listening. Majesty, I didn't come here to spy on her, but I don't know what to do. Why did you put me up with this Agur guy who doesn't know anything? Suddenly, the other 2 or 3 things that baffled Agur came back to him. An eagle in the sky, a snake on the rock, a ship on the high seas. They all had to go where there were no paths. No paths. He had to follow his heart. Well then, I'm going in. As he was walking to the door, the thought hit him. A ship on the high seas. The skater John on the high seas of space. And no path. Hold that one for now. Lanya first. He slipped through the door and sat down on a bench against the wall. She didn't seem to notice him. The Musico was dimly lit and the stage lights were on her. That one trumpet call was still going. Lanya still stood there with her arms stretched out. Only the slightest movements of her body were guiding the Musico. The sound was slowly swelling. Maybe the pitch or some sort of vibration was gradually increasing. Whatever it was, the tension was building up something incredible. Suddenly, there was an answer. Similar long notes were sounding now from all around. First they seemed very far away and faint. Then they approached. They were like the central one, but slightly less heavy, less tense. Still, they were solemn and serious. They were of different notes, so as one swelled and another faded, there was a succession of chords in some sort of minor key that Eller didn't know. Lanya was swaying now, staring into the void, and directing the music with arms, hands and legs all at the same time. That great big central trumpet note was dissolving in the music, which was now no longer angry, but sad. A lament about loved things lost, or loved people not choosing to respond to love. Eller saw tears in her eyes. One was rolling over her cheek. Majesty, she's praying to you. Do console her. Do give her peace. Dry her tears." Suddenly, it was bound to be the wrong thing to do, but he couldn't stop himself. "Lanya, don't cry. I love you." The bit after Lanya was completely lost in the eruption of suddenly released acoustic chaos that very effectively translated Lanya's startled response. Blasted! Now he had told her he loved her, but she hadn't heard it. So he had to work himself up all over again. Shut up, Mecca, and think of her, not of yourself.